Welcome to the Hilton Head Livin podcast. I am your host, O.T. Gibbons. Our mission with all of our content is to make sure you get the most out of your time in Hilton Head. All the best places to go, all the biggest events going on, and everything you need to know to get the most out of your time on the island. I am joined as always by the star of our content, my beautiful wife and co-host, Jessica Gibbons. How you doing, Jess?
Hi.
All right, on this week's episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking about everything going on this weekend in Hilton Head. We're going to be talking about our favorite new thing that we tried last week. And as always, we're going to answer the people. So with that, Jess, what's going on this week?
Start off on the 19th. Carolina Jasmine is having their first holiday market from 11 to 2. It's a newer store on the Main Street Village on the north side of the island, and a great place to do some shopping with some live music, and they have some art workshops you can sign up for. On the 22nd, Local Pie will be having an ugly sweater party beginning at 4 p.m., and there'll be prize for the ugly sweater or outfit, along with drink and food specials. There's a couple things on the 21st, beginning with the Polar Pines Express wagon rides in Sea Pines beginning at 10 a.m. And they take you on a little train ride to their version of the North Pole where there's kids' activities, crafts, and a hot chocolate bar, and reservations are required. And then in Longton Stables, there is a very horsey holiday from 12 till 4, and tickets are $20 for pre-sale online and $25 at the gate, and includes pictures with Santa, a hot chocolate bar, crafts, and reindeer food. And pony rides and carriage rides are available for $10. The Hilton Head Night Bazaar will take place at the bank from 5 to 8. It'll be a great place to do your holiday shopping from local vendors. Lastly, on the 21st, Lincoln and South Brewery will be having a holiday jam from 6 to 9, and you can celebrate with live music and festive vibes, and you get free tater tots if you bring a gift for their toy drive. Then the Jingle Bridge 5R 10K will take place on the 22nd in the morning. It starts at Crossings Park, and it's going to go over the Cross Island Bridge to give beautiful views there, and also to maybe be aware if you plan on driving over the bridge that morning to just be aware of a bunch of runners. The Coastal Discovery Museum is hosting Reptiles of the Low Country on the 23rd from 11 to 12. And it's $15 for adults, $7 for kids, and you get to see, learn about, and maybe even touch some of the reptiles, such as snakes, turtles, and alligators. I took my nephew to something similar to that in the summer, where we did get to hold a baby alligator, so that was a lot of fun. Where else can you do that out? And they have a couple more dates in December and beginning of January if you do miss it on the 23rd. So you can visit their website to see the exact dates. Also on the 23rd is the Greg Russell Christmas concert from 7:30 to 9 underneath the Liberty Oak Tree in Harbor Town. Christmas Eve Under the Stars will take place on the 24th in Bluffton at the Oyster Factory Park beginning at 6. There'll be Christmas carols and a candlelit service.
Okay, that's everything happening this weekend on Hilton Head Island. Let's go back to last week. Jess, what was your favorite new thing that you tried last week?
I went bike riding on Pinckney Island to the White Sands Beach. So it's all the way at the end. It's an almost 8-mile total trip. So for biking, it took us not too long, maybe about an hour. Walking would take a little bit longer. We rented bikes at the Hilton Head Bike Company, which that was a fun experience. Because I originally was just getting myself a bike, and I was meeting my friend there who was coming from the Bluffton area, so it's kind of a middle meeting point for us. And she couldn't find the parts she needed for her bike, so she was like, "Oh, can you rent me a bike too?" Great, sure, of course. Then I tell OT, we got to go pick up these bikes. Can he help me? We take my car, an SUV first, a compact SUV. Couldn't get the bikes in there because of it over the tires. It has that spot. OT was not happy.
To call your car an SUV is just not like you think SUV, you're thinking Suburban, you're thinking Jeep Grand Cherokee, you're thinking one of these bigger SUVs. Jess has a compact SUV, but when you say it's just a Jeep, it's just the regular Jeep Compass. So they're much smaller trunk. It's not very wide, and these are big beach cruisers. And so from the handlebars to the tire is not like a short distance. So trying to fit these things in width-wise into the back of her car just was not going to happen.
And they don't rent out bike racks either. So we drove home, get OT's car, which has a wider trunk. Not necessarily
Correction,
bigger.
my car that I love, my Jeep Grand Cherokee, which can fit anything in the trunk. And this just comes off of a week where I had a bunch of people visiting me for golf, and I was missing my car terribly because I'm driving my dad's Audi, again, a compact SUV that's like slightly bigger than yours, but
I feel like it's smaller.
It's got a wider
that's
trunk.
the trunk. Yeah,
the car is smaller. But man, I miss my car. Dang, I miss my car. That's really my big takeaway here. But continue.
Yeah, so he wasn't happy already that we had to drive home. Went back. The first bike went in very easily. We got the first bike in. Then the second bike did not want to fit in. But of course, OT is not happy with me. And we'll finally get it in. And, he's like, you better hope that you and Aaron can get it back in the car because I'm not coming to get you. You're going to have to ride the bikes home from Hilton Island. Of course, later on, he was like, of course, I'll come get you. But that's it. And I was in my head, though, I was like, I'm riding those bikes back. I'm not calling him. I'm somehow getting these bikes back.
How nervous were you when you got back to the car?
I know. I was like, ugh, my friend's car is an actual SUV. So I was like, worst case scenario, we can fit it into her car and she has to drive a little bit out of the way. But so figure that. I was like, we're calling her husband first, who lives further away. Like, we're calling her husband first to come help us before I call OT. But anyways, we got him in so easily. So it was, I guess
the reason why is because we figured out that we had to move the passenger seat up to fit the bikes in lengthwise. Jess was like sitting against the dashboard like this. We were driving home, but it does make me upset that you guys just got it. I'm a little upset.
I was very nervous. I was so nervous about it though, and was so thankful, thanking the car gods that it was able to get it in without having to call them. That was easy to get it into. But anyways, back to the actual bike ride. It was a beautiful day, and the bikes were super easy and comfortable. Other than trying to get in the car, it was only like $20 for 2 days. So that was a really good price too. But if you do it that short period of time, you do have to pick them up. If you do it for longer, they do deliver it to you. So great pricing for those bikes. The ride was very nice. It's kind of like a gravelly path that you go on, and for the most part, it's wide until we get to the part where you go off of it to the white beach. And oh my goodness, that was definitely off-roading. There is really no path. It's whoa, you're going over tree roads. We're like, oh my goodness, how much further? And I haven't ridden a bike in forever either, and was definitely worried that I was going to fall over and hurt myself or something. So luckily we had I had a GoPro that I could wear, so I was gripping the handles, death grip on them. But you get to the beach, it's gorgeous. It's so pretty and peaceful. We got there at low tide too, so there's tons of beach. There's tons of shells, so many shells, which Hilton Head doesn't really have. So many shells, so many. So if you're looking for shells, definitely do that. It was a fun little trip. It was a beautiful beach. We were the only ones there, so it was like our own little private beach. And and we drove back, easily got the bikes in the car, and we were good to go. We were off. So it was highly enjoyable. I would definitely want to do that again too.
I don't worry too much about you in those scenarios because you're an expert at falling. Jess has fallen down walking down the sidewalk before, so.
With being a gymnast, they kind of teach you how to fall. You just kind of roll so you don't really hurt yourself or something. So I've gotten pretty good at falling. Might get a little bruise or something, but I'm not actually going to really, really hurt myself. So that's
Enough.
But all right, enough about my little adventure. It was definitely an adventure for sure. How about you? What did you do?
I went to Station 300. We went to Station 300 for my nephew's birthday party. Highly recommend for a kid's birthday party. It was really a great setup. They had a bunch of birthday parties there. They were cranking them in and out. I believe it was a 2-hour window. They gave us 3 lanes to one side, and then there was another party there with a couple lanes to the other side of us. They brought out a table for food for us with drinks. They also had like the other table for food for the other party. And then there's, the adults can do some bowling, have some beverages or eat some food and chat kind of behind. But the kids can also run over. And this is what my nephew did the whole time, was spending in their ridiculous arcade where they've got every game that you could imagine. He just did a full sprint for 2 hours playing every single game one at a time. And, they don't give you tickets. They give you tickets on this card that they give you, which makes it a little neater and easier for parents for sure. And then at the end of the day, you give your card in, they give you a little prize, and he was happy as a clam. And it was just a really great spot, I think, for any parent looking to have a decent sized birthday party for a kid. It was kind of perfect.
Although our nephew was upset about the tickets not coming on. He wanted to actually hold them. But I feel like for the parent who has to hold the tickets, it's nice that you don't actually have to. And they also have, for kids, the little thing you can put your ball on and it just rolls it off for them. You can put the bumpers up. They have great music playing. And I believe, I think during the weekend, they have like glow in the dark bowling at night too. That seems like it would be a lot of fun.
And it looks like they close for private events as well. So you could possibly do something like that. But yeah, overall, I really think it was kind of a perfect layout for a kid's birthday party.
Yeah, and for adults too. OT and his brother we're having some competition with our kid games too. So it's fun for all ages.
They had full grown person adult Mario Kart. It was like the best thing ever. What do you want? It was great. All right. And as always, we're going to answer the people. And the question we've been getting most often lately is what to do on New Year's Eve in Hilton Head. Jess, what do you do for New Year's Eve on Hilton Head Island?
As always, as with the Thanksgiving stuff, I'm sure there are more places. Again, these are the places I know about. So starting with Coconuts Sports Bar, they're having an event from 6 to 12:30 where it's a buffet dinner from 6 to 9. And then they have music and kind of late night snack buffet from 9 to 12. And there is a champagne toast included in your tickets for if you're 21 or older. And tickets for that are $55. And then what we've done the past few years we've been here is Harbor Town has a big event going on. There's live music, there's face painting, there's food and drink tents, a lot going on, and a ball drops from the lighthouse.
Tell them the best part. Tell them the best part. Tell them the best part. Tell them the best part.
They do ball drops at 7 p.m. and 12 p.m. So it's great for the kids, or if you're OT.
Or if you just want to go to bed at 11 p.m., you can go watch the ball drop and the fireworks go off at 7 p.m. It's amazing.
But as I said, really great for kids, as that whole atmosphere is very kid-friendly. And there's a bunch of restaurants there that you can have dinner at beforehand or afterwards. And ball drops 7, you're good to go home. Kids can go to bed. You don't have to stay up late.
It was so perfect last year where the fireworks went off, the ball dropped. All the kids, within 15, 20 minutes afterwards, all the families and kids cleared out. And we went to dinner at Crazy Crab right there in Harbor Town. And there wasn't really hardly even a wait.
I wasn't going to mention that part because I don't want it to get crowded. That was the one thing I was going to gatekeep. The one thing. I'm usually pretty open about stuff, but I was like, I don't want it to get crowded afterwards. I want people to know that.
Most people listening to this will probably go to the midnight one. We'll already be home asleep by then.
Maybe you will be. I know. I could do. Aaron and I were talking about a friend of mine and her husband. She was like, oh, he'd love to go to bed early too. And I was like, well, maybe we can all go to Harvard Town and then we can have a girls' night at Rooftop is having a Great Gatsby party beginning at 7. General admission tickets are $20. It's for 21 and over, and you get a champagne toast at midnight. And there's, like they usually have it, rooftop live DJ, music, fun, and dancing. Then also a good one for kids, the Sandbox is having a balloon drop at noon. So this is really good for the young kids. And they also have interactive activities going on and whatnot. The whole place, it's awesome. Like our young niece and nephew absolutely love it there. So that's really good for really little kids. And ball drop, and maybe they go to bed at like 7 already or something. So they can still you can do a little something with them, have fun. That seems really cute. Then Alexander's is having a 3-course prefix meal from 5 to 9, and that's $80, and either call or go online to make a reservation.